right of movement and residence throughout the territory of India are freely available to the Indian citizens, but these rights are not absolute common. So the keyword here or the word that we are looking directive is comment. तो आप जब comment करोगे आप cases examples भी बताओगे, but you could have your own structure. So I'll tell what my structure would have been, because it talks about right of movement and residence throughout the territory of India. एक फंडामेंटल आर्टिकल है ये एंड इट शुड स्ट्राइक यू इमीडिएटली. तो आई वुड हैव गिवन एन इंट्रोडक्शन. सो इंट्रोडक्शन में I would have probably mentioned the article only, that article 19, I think it's 1D or E. So I would have mentioned article 19 1D talks about this, and something on the lines of fundamental rights. Then because it talks, I would have given the context of the question first, ki like how article 19 talks about, like what article 19 talks about. So there are two movements, right to movement inside the country and right to move freely inside the country, which comes under article 19, and outside, which comes under article 21. Then another point you could have mentioned here is that how this right is only for citizens and not for foreigners, is only for citizens. This could be your another line. And फिर आप third point I think COVID का mention कर सकते हैं if you want to bring it on earlier, or you could just start with the key answer now, कि how this is restrictive. The question is, these rights are not absolute, right? So we'll put exactly this heading, that rights are not absolute. इसके पहले अगर आप चाहें तो एक लाइन यहाँ पर दे सकते हैं जहाँ पर बोल सकते हैं that fundamental rights are linked to reasonable restrictions. For every right is linked to reasonable restrictions. So you can just mention that. So we will write here rights are not absolute. And आप यहाँ पर जो दो I think conditions हैं, one of them is in the interest of public. यहाँ पर आपको कोविड मेंशन करना ही करना है एज एन एग्जाम्पल, बिकॉज इस क्वेश्चन का कॉन्टेक्स्ट ही कोविड है. कोविड के दौरान जो मूवमेंट रोका था, बहुत न्यूज में था कि यू नो कैन द स्टेट डू दिस, कैन द स्टेट रिस्ट्रिक्ट अ पर्सन्स मूवमेंट. तो वो कॉन्टेक्स्ट आपको मेंशन करना ही है. कोविड-19 के टाइम पे ऐसे ऐसे बैन कर दिया था ट्रैवल, एंड जिसकी वजह से माइग्रेंट्स के ह्यूमन राइट्स इशू पे क्वेश्चन आया था. तो वो सब आप यहाँ मेंशन करेंगे. एंड आई थिंक द सेकंड इज इन द इंटरेस्ट ऑफ शेड्यूल्ड राइट, तो आप वो भी मेंशन करेंगे. यहाँ पर यू कैन मेंशन द ILP और द प्रोटेक्टेड एरिया परमिट दैट यू हैव टू टेक. सो वो मेंशन करके एंड you can just end in the conclusion probably some case law, if you know that this law has talked about how for the greater public benefit or for the maximum utility or maximum advantage of all citizens, restriction of few citizens can be done. So this will be like your conclusion thing.